could just, I guess, mute their microphones. I don't want to mute everyone because if you have a question, that's great. With GoToMeeting, it's kind of I don't always notice the chats that come up. So I know a lot of people do office hours with YouTube Live and stuff like that, but I don't always notice the chat, especially when I'm working on one monitor and not looking at the other one, type of thing. So just mute ourselves, and then if you have a question, unmute yourself, ask. We'll try to go back over it. The session is recording. I'm Taylor, one of the TAs in the course. Kelly's on, Tom Newman's on, some other folks are on. I thought I saw Tia's name, but maybe not. And what we're going to do today is basically try to get just the database going. As you know, with most apps, web apps especially, you don't need the database going just to have your website going, or you don't need the website going to get your database going. So if you go into the documents, well, let's actually start at the beginning. So there's a post on Piazza. Basically, you can go into here. There's other posts as well, but you'll just use this link at the bottom. This will go you to where you can get the actual instance. If you highlight them all, kind of like I just did here, you can right-click and then download. It'll prepare the download and zip it up for you so that it's ready to go. I've already done this here in that step, so we can skip past there. And you'll notice now that I have in here my what was available there on Google Drive. One thing to note, you'll want to unzip this here, the copy of the FHIR 301 dump, so that it can actually be converted over. So in here there's a PDF. We were taking a look at that a moment ago. And as we get started in here, it does list what you'll need, FHIR dump, everything like that. Things there. Tomcat 8.0 or higher. I actually did it on 7 as well, and that seemed to work. So, if you already have an instance of Tomcat installed, try that out first. You don't necessarily need to set up a new one, but recommended, of course, here to do 8. PG admin, as well as the PG Enterprise DB. So I'm going to open up both the links for those. I had to download both of these to get them going. So drive download, that's from Google Drive earlier. So depending on what you're running, you'll select your version. I have a 64-bit Windows. That'll begin its download here in just a moment. So many ads, it can be kind of tricky to know what you're looking for. Save that. As well as PG admin. They have 1.1 and 1.0. It does say to use 1.0 in the document, so we're going to go with that one. And it gives you a couple different things. Really, if you're on, Windows, you'll just need the executable. Anything else, you're welcome to grab. As far as, keep in mind, I'm dealing with a Windows 7 64-bit machine. They just have the 32-bit here, so I'm going to just grab that as well. Those are currently downloading, but I already have the other ones ready to go. We're going to go with modified. There we go. I'm just going to give PG admin just another minute here. We could probably start on that anyway. Not the exact steps that I followed the first time around. but I think we'll survive. So I have Visual Studio installed on my machine as well. If you have some C++ environment, it might kick that up, in this place here. So we get our setup, tells us where it's going to install. This is where it's going to put your database. So the password and the retype password. I went ahead and grabbed this just from the document itself. And so further, I3L works. We have that password on here. You might see it a couple other times here, things like that. So when I installed it, I felt pretty confident that I should use just that password. So here, I just have it, Notepad. I'll bring it over to here because that way we can be sure. It does talk about, in the PDF, we can use port 532. Let me just see where I find that. Yep, right there, which works perfectly for us. So we'll click Next. Default locale. So I am in the United States. English. So this will install. Doesn't take too long once you have everything downloaded. While it's doing that, let's take a look. We'll also grab username here. I'm just going to copy that over into Notepad so that I have that available. Paste that in. So that's going to be the user, your admin user for the database as well. Yeah, that's where we're at there.
So Taylor, I have a question here. When I was setting up, Postgres. I'm not sure I entered that password at the login. I don't really recollect. So would that be an issue? Should I try and check if I can, set it to the right password?
Yeah, and possibly. I doubt it. And that was the thing. I've never really used Postgres SQL or PostGRE SQL. SQL Management Studio, Oracle, any flavors of that. This is the first time I had seen it when I was setting it up. But so that being the case, I didn't really care what the password was. So I just used that because that's what I found in the document. With
Okay.
that, that's also, I did get it going with that.
All right. So maybe, I can take a look. If I see errors after doing all the other steps right, I can maybe go and try and change the password if required.
Yeah, that should be pretty easy. There's plenty of things online.
Sure.
Scripts already written out and whatnot to do that. Stack Overflow is my best friend, I think, sometimes.
Yep.
Anyone else? Any questions? Kelly, I muted Kelly because there's some background noise. But you're unmuted now, Kelly, so.
No, I'm just trying to follow along. I did not do all the preps. So I'll ping you if I can't complete it.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm following what you're saying. I'm just like a few steps behind you.
No worries. Yeah, I mean, I had downloaded everything already as well, so.
So Taylor, with the final install, is the source data stored in the Postgres SQL database, or is it stored in some type of a NoSQL database?
So when you're finished installing, all of the data is actually in that, let me pull that folder back up. So earlier when I did the download, we get this FHIR dump, and these should actually be renamed because copy of isn't what's in there. So that's something you can do to rename these. Oops. And of course it goes in here, and I'm going to move these up to here. But this will help there as well. So all the data is within here, and it's going to create quite a few tables and whatnot too. But something I noticed in PostGRE was that it created not necessarily tables within the database, schemas. Sorry, schemas actually that build off of. So we have multiple schemas as well that the FHIR instance will actually reference all those schemas. So if you're getting errors when that's coming in, you might not have all the schemas. The database might not have restored fully. It's, things like that. So launch stack builder at exit. I don't really need that to launch. So we've got that part downloaded. Next part is the PG admin. So this is our actual environment where we can actually, run scripts to code the code and whatnot. So here in this window. So this will come up when you click on the executable. Except, of course, I didn't read it all, but let's assume I read it before. So again, just so we know, in our instance of this here, I have FHIR 301 dump, the zip file of the dump. So this is the original that was included. So you'll have these three files when you come in here. We have the copy of, this is because this is the second time downloading it, so I see that copy over it before, things like that. And then that's where I went to school before Georgia Tech. Again, C++, so let's start kicking off. You don't need Visual Studio, by the way.
Just a curious question. What school is that?
University of Montana.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Yeah.
So did they score your lunch on the Big M?
Yeah, I mean, you can hike right up to that and see all of Missoula, Montana. It's pretty awesome. You can also, the stadium for the football games is right over here, so if you have some binoculars, you can watch the games from there.
Very cool.
I'm going to restart my computer later. This wasn't able to get it going last time without actually restarting. So PG admin's now installed. It's coming up on my other monitor. Let's see if I can change screens. Yes, we're running not the latest version. Again, 1.1 should work, so if you want to get that, you can. PostgreSQL, so password authentication failed for Postgres. And I'm going to grab our i3L works. I'm going to save that. And there you go. So we have it installed, the server's connected, everything's good to go here. We have our login groups and roles. So when I was first installing this, I didn't do that first step that I did earlier of getting the actual pgadmin backup, so I couldn't create login groups and roles and things like that. So if that's the issue you're running into, that's what I would recommend definitely going and downloading here from Enterprise DB, the PG download, just to get that going. So first we want to create our new user. So this is based on, let's get us down into the document in here. Name of our user is OMOPV5, OMOP5. Should recognize that name being in the class. So I'm going to just copy that over, or actually I have that in my notepad already. So name, definition, you can, I'm just going to set that i3L works password again just for this.
Okay.
Yeah. Can log in, yes. I'm going to set that to pretty much everything yes here. Make it a super user and everything else. Considering it's a local instance, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. Roles, we want what was the roles that we need? Should have, yeah, we'll just give it the Postgres one. All that good. Should have just about everything there. After that, other than that, there's not really any parameters needed. Yeah, I mean, this is the SQL script. It automatically creates that for you. The back end, things like that. Connection limit, account expires. Don't really want that at all. Save that. See our new user is showing up. If you want to come back and change the properties, this is where you can do it here, just by selecting the user. You see the SQL as well, things like that. Now, the key here that we want to do is we want to restore our new database. So we're going to create a database. And if we look at our document, I want to call it FHIR OMOPV5. And the owner, we want to make sure to select OMOPV5, definition, security, parameters, all this. Basically, we'll leave this. We're going to do the restore right after this. And this is pgadmin's loading window, that little circle. Yeah. So you can right-click on the plus. We're going to see it has somewhat empty schemas and things like that, but it adds what you'll need to get kind of set up. But now that it's connected, we can do that, and we can go and we can restore. So format, custom or tar or a directory. So again, custom or tar, so if you want to leave it in a zip, you can do that. I did a directory, and we can go in, maybe. It's going to ask us where we want to go, and I am in users, type lane, downloads, maybe. Folder. Okay, that's fine. So right now what I'm doing is I'm moving everything over just up to that directory I could get to. I'm not sure why it won't let me click on this downloads directory, but such is the way things work sometimes. But what is computer science if you don't find workarounds? So you should have the FHIR. No, of course not. So I'm going to put it directly in my C. So again, moving it one more time to local disk C. I don't know why things. Oh gosh, I can't believe I didn't see it. So we were able to get in there. Man, I don't know what it's doing here, but
Taylor, I think if you select file types as all, and then it will let you select one of the files inside that directory, and then the select gets enabled. I had the same issue when I did it.
no. Okay, well, I already put it here.
Yeah, and if you just select all files.
Yeah. So we don't want to select any single one of them, but we just want to make that the directory there. So there are a number of jobs, role name, OMOP v5, restore options. We have a little bit in here of a show, so pre-data, data, post-data, things like that, clean before restore. So we're going to set those. And other than that, I don't see any other options in there. So I believe we're ready to roll. So this is why I decided to create 2 sessions of this, because this can take hours. As I said, I had to do this restore twice. The second time I came around, not all of it took. As it turned out, my computer did go to sleep in the in the middle of the restore. I could see some of the schemas, some of the tables and things like that, but I couldn't access everything. That being said, if you do plan to leave this, I would make sure that your computer isn't set to go to sleep within 4 hours. And that might even be lowballing it. Yeah, any questions, guys?
I've got a question here, Taylor. When I did this for the first time, I got an exit code 1. It
Yep.
said a couple of schemas were not available. I could see 3 schemas inside the database, but I still got those errors. So just this maybe an hour before this call, I tried to do the restore again, and it seems to be working now. I'm not sure what changed because I didn't really change anything.
Okay.
But it seems to have worked. So it's sort of going on for an hour and a half now. I think I'll probably just let it run.
Right.
And, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, it takes a while. Luckily, I have my other classes and some homework to do and things like that, so it I'll be able to stick around with it. But I also got that exit code 1 the first time around. Yeah, like I said, I had some of the schemas, some of the tables, but not everything.
Right, I think that's exactly what happened when I tried it.
So basically, yeah, I'm going to let this continue to go. Is there anyone else have any questions?
That was helpful for me, Tyler. Good to see that process walk through. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. that I could help, Tom. Tell you what, guys, I can let this go. Once it's done, I'll keep GoToMeeting on, and then that way I can finish the recording when it's done and kind of walk around the schemas, walk around the tables, show that it's connected and everything like that, as well as the success code that it should give. But as Aditi just said, this could, she's an hour and a half in, and it's still going. So that's about it, unless anyone else has any questions. Feel free to log off. Like I said, I'll finish up this recording. I'll post it to YouTube, give everyone the links in Piazza on the post that is referencing this with the GoToMeeting links. And when this is done, I'll finish the recording so that we can actually take a look at it.
That sounds good. Thank you, Taylor. I'll probably drop off now. I'm interested in the next bits where you explain, what the successful message should be, as well as the schema. So I'll probably wait for that post later on tonight or tomorrow.
Yep.
And I'll log in again tomorrow for the next session.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Have a great night.
王卡，川普128票了，他肯定赢了佛罗里达嘛，要不然不可能128票。他没有赢啊。他还没赢，但是他肯定会赢的，因为只剩6%了。哦，你看他那个他跳数6%很多，好不好？6%不可能全是他的吧？
Hi, are there some other folks on the line that have some questions?
哦，如果生在一个地方就有可能对吧？死了。
You're done.
Well, that's probably just as well. They'll be like, what kind of TAs do you have where she can't even get Tomcat?
Yep. We're still restoring. We actually had to restore a second time, so you might have to as well to get that error code 1. If you go to the dashboard of the database, where you can go view here of the user or of the database, either or, should see it being active at the end. Still trying to restore the database. It's going. I'm sitting here with it. Hey everyone, so we are back. I had to re-restore it again. This one went fairly quick. So anyway, looks like we have some schemas. I'm just going to open up some of the tables. Care site, so this is the OMA 5 schema. We have specimens, observations, things like that. We can take a look. I'm just going to delete all this for quickness. So first 100 rows, we got these in here. Take a look at some of the others. Your site, etc., measurement, location, things like that. So So it looks like maybe we will need to do another restore just to kind of make sure. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But we have all our schemas in there now, which is great. These PG ones you can ignore. Those have to do with PG itself. So yeah. So it looks like the restore failed again. I'm going to try again. This time, and choose a different format, custom or tar. Let's see if we can get this going here. And so in this, I'm just going to select that. Let's paste that in. Grab the file name. That should be that. We'll see what happens. That already failed. So again, more. Okay, I'll see what happens. So it looks like here, running it the last time, the restore completed. I don't see any issues. Successfully completed. It was a little quicker this last final run. Tom Newman actually brought up a good point earlier. Don't mind the errors and whatnot that come in here. Or not the errors, but the red text. It doesn't necessarily mean an error. Just gonna refresh. Look at our schemas. So this is the big one that should have all the tables in it. Looks like it does. Look at provider. Just get some rows. Yeah, that's got quite a few there. Person, I'll take a look there. Yeah, 301 rows there. What else can we look at? Condition. Condition occurrence. So almost 10,000 rows there. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow for the rest of setting this up. And yeah.